And Pondering. So, yo, I want to talk about two things tonight. I want to talk about the UnitedHealthcare situation with the CEO being gunned down in New York City, Midtown, 6:30 a.m. It was craziness. I also want to talk about Tiffany Henyard. You know, Tiffany Henyard, she is the mayor of Dalton, Illinois, and she also holds the supervisor chair currently for Thornton Township. So please come in, thumbs up this video, subscribe to the channel. So listen, when I first heard about this situation, first and foremost about the UnitedHealthcare, I was scrolling the internet and then it just happened to pop up and I'm like, wait a minute, UnitedHealthcare CEO gunned down in New York City. So this was just madness, right? So first thing first, let's just play this video from earlier that, you know, it kind of shows like some scenes from, you know, where everything happened. So let's just play this.
As former chief of detectives, you led investigations like this. How do you go about piecing this together with such a vague description of the suspect? Someone dressed all in black, wearing a mask, can't see his face. So now what?
So now you look at things, you're going to do a video canvas. But first you have to lock down that crime scene because you have eyewitnesses who've already testified they saw it. So you go with that video, what that description they have, and you start doing almost like a leapfrog, like a scent, with only a video one of where he runs off to. It's also important this man was there. So this was a target. They knew he was coming, and it was a setup. Right now, we'll talk about motive later, but right now you have to lock down what you have. Those projectiles in the street, those shell casings, and that video, which is always important. I was chief of Manhattan detectives before I was chief of detectives, and I'll tell you, there's a lot of video out there that's going to aid in this investigation. So I think it's going to go very quickly.
And you're talking about video, Phil. It sounds like we're getting photos in now too.
Yeah, he's right. Robert knows exactly what's going on, and these are the pictures. Take a look. That is a picture, police tell us, of the suspect as he grabbed a bike and took off. This is the suspect out in front of the hotel. So you can see he's wearing dark clothes, just like witnesses said, hood over his head, that backpack on, grabbed a bicycle after he ran down an alley and took off. So Bob's right. He could be anywhere in Manhattan, and they have to lock that down. We do have a couple of interviews WABC, our local affiliate here, did with a few folks who witnessed the shooting, and saw the shooter before. So let's take a listen to them.
I was holding my phone, then I hear the shot, you know. And when I look at the guy was with a gun, like, you know, the silent gun, got like a black gun. And I saw him after he shot him. He ran across the street this way. At this time, he stepped out of the car to smoke. And he see the killer 2 times or 3 times he's passing by, you know.
So listen, my condolences go out to Brian Thompson. That was his name, the CEO of I think he was over the insurance division. He was in New York City for a conference. Can you imagine? So like they said, this was targeted. When I tell you, me and my coworkers were brainstorming all day. When I tell you, we was coming up in any and everything. Like, yo, first thing first, I started off, I said, is this a scorned employee? You know, did somebody get terminated? Did somebody, you know, like, I'm not trying to be funny and trying to be racist or like trying to just, you know, just to call people, I'm calling the thing for what it is, right? You know how these people get in positions. This man has been the CEO since 2021. Is there a disgruntled employee who wanted that role and they're just like, oh, if he gets done off, I'm going to be put in the role? Is it somebody who got fired? Now, I worked in the insurance world before in customer service. Thank God I don't work there, but I understand if you do that, that job is a job and you got to pay your bills, right? But I also know, I was thinking like, is it a customer who got mad because the service wasn't covered? And, you know, a lot of people I remember before when I used to work on the front lines in customer service, people used to call and be mad that their cancer treatments or whatever wouldn't be covered, and they'd be like, I want to speak to the CEO and I'm gonna come down there. I worked at the headquarters building, so people at headquarters, people will come down there sometimes and want to meet with the CEO, thinking that they could just get them like that. I know that this matter has CEOs all over the United States on edge. And you know, I thought about that. Is it something with the wife? You know, he has a wife. She spoke out and said that, you know, he had been getting some threats. They also mentioned that there was some sort of cyber attack. Who knows? It's like, it's so many different angles. And also, when I first heard this story earlier today, they were saying that the guy had a cream jacket on. So what if they were even looking for a person with a black jacket? I heard something in a report that they said he had a cream jacket on or a cream book bag, and it looked pretty black to me in the video. So this is just crazy. The man was trying to get there early. He got, listen, he had a big gun too. Did you see that? Did you see what he used? The man just come on. And they said he was at the Starbucks earlier that day. So this is why I tell y'all, yo, real talk, you just never know when it's going to be your time. You just never know. When I started seeing little kids being, and seeing how the little kids was being unalived in rooms, I said, yo, just go into your car in the morning. You're lucky, you're blessed if you make it to work, or if you just forgot something in the car and you just simply go get it. Anything can happen at any time. But listen, again, my heart goes out to the people, the family members associated with Brian Thompson. My heart goes out to the people affected and impacted by him, who truly cared about him, at the job at UnitedHealthcare. I actually applied for a job at UnitedHealthcare. I think I asked for too much money. They didn't hire me. But yeah, I felt like this was definitely the shocking story of the day. So again, my condolences go out to them. Get in the comments, let me know how you feel about this and what this made you think. I'm pretty sure CEOs across all industries are probably on edge, like, dang, who's watching me? You know what I'm saying? Who would think that this would happen? It's definitely targeted. Was the wife dating somebody and he's up in New York City? Who knows? Listen, anything that you can think of, an array, it can be a multitude of things. I was just telling somebody that on Twitter. It can literally be a multitude of things. You just don't know. And I think that they need to chip away and try to figure out what happened. Was there any disgruntled insurees of that health plan who felt some sort of way towards him? Any letters written? Any type of excuse me, any employees that were terminated who were frustrated? Excuse me, they need to look through any and everything to try to figure out what happened, and they need to investigate the wife too, because if it was the other way around and it was a woman, they would be looking at the husband. So again, all right, let's move on. The next thing I want to talk about is Tiffany Henyard. So Tiffany Henyard, she's a supervisor of Thornton Township. She's the mayor of Dalton, Illinois. Now, Tiffany Henyard, she has been under fire for the past few months. I see so many different content creators making content on her. I feel bad for her sometimes, because I felt like this. I know that even at a point they were trying to say that the feds were going to be investigating her. I don't think that they ever investigate. I don't think she has been under indictment like a Eric Adams in New York City. She hasn't been under that type of scrutiny, but they both get a bad rep. So just some things about Tiffany Henyard. She had a cancer foundation where they were saying that she wasn't able to substantiate, the funds that were being received. So she had to shut the cancer foundation down. I know that there was excessive money spent that was excessive money spent from the village of Dalton on traveling for the employees and just miscellaneous things. They had like new Tahoes, new cars and stuff like that. And I know that she's a pretty new mayor, and I think that a way that she could have got over that is that maybe if she would have just yeah, we did spend money on traveling. Yes, we we did get these cars for XYZ reason, but it seems as though it has rubbed the people the wrong way. Well, anyway, it's now time for the election, and over the past 30 years, they have done primary elections where people come in and they vote. Now, all of a sudden, this new guy, Napoleon, he found a loophole to get her up out of there, and now she wasn't nominated for a vote. So listen, I want you to check this video out. Let me know what you think. If you know about Tiffany Henyard, that whole association, make sure you leave a comment below. So let's watch this. I got two videos, so let's watch the first one.
And tonight's decision was made within minutes, with Tiffany Henyard receiving a blow to her re-election efforts. A packed gym room at the Homewood Flossmoor Park District erupts in cheers as the Democratic Party caucus for Thornton Township decided to deny embattled current Township Supervisor Tiffany Henyard's name from being on the ballot in April. State Senator Napoleon Harris now nominated as the Democratic challenger for that position.
So to hear the people tonight, you heard them express how wonderful it was to finally get rid of her.
It was the first time in 30 years that Township Democrats used a caucus to determine who will be on the ballot. Those seeking the nomination for Township Supervisor needed all 8 people for that slate, which includes Supervisor, Highway Director, Clerk, Assessor, and 4 trustees. Henyard did not have a certified assessor on her ticket, deeming her invalid for consideration. Current Thornton Township trustee Chris Gonzalez earning the Democratic nomination for a trustee spot under Harris's slate.
We want to get the township back on track, back to where we feel it should be.
Henyard was appointed Thornton Township Supervisor in 2022 and also serves as the mayor of Dalton. Tuesday night's decision comes as Henyard has faced criticism over township spending while also disputing with trustees.
What's currently going on, I'm disappointed, but what I'm looking for in the future is hope.
Now, Henyard can still run for Dalton mayor, but in order to run for township supervisor, she'll have to be a write-in candidate.
So listen, I think Napoleon Harris, he found a loophole to get Tiffany up out of there. They said that she didn't have a certified assessor. They probably been knew that. I want you to think about this. Yes, it is legal that they had a caucus, but I feel like they should have had a primary election. So if Napoleon wanted to run against her fairly, then that should have taken place. Did they know she didn't have a certified assessor? Because they're saying that in order for that to take place, she had to have a certified assessor. So it automatically trumps her. So now she can't even run as an independent. And they only can do write-in ballots, and who knows what's the real behind that, like if that's even really going to count. But listen, I know that there's a lot of controversy surrounding Tiffany Henyard, and I just feel like if she's going to get, I was listening to a platform earlier and I had the same sentiments when I heard about this yesterday. It's like, if y'all don't like the woman that bad, vote her out. You know what I'm saying? If Napoleon was going to get that fair and square in the primary, and he had some funny smirk on his face too. I want to play another video for y'all. So let's check this out, and then I'm going to wrap this up with my commentary at the end. Check this out.
13 months after our first WGN Investigates report on questionable spending by South Suburban politician Tiffany Henyard, it appears she has been forced off the ballot. Now, this involves just one of the two elected positions Henyard holds. Now her allies are calling the move illegal and vowing to fight. And let's be clear, the guy who engineered the move installed himself at the top of the ticket. Tiffany Henyard didn't even get the chance to speak before the Democratic Township Committeeman dispatched her from the ballot in a simple voice vote. In seconds, the crowd of hundreds sang her out like a ball player who had just struck out.
This is my prime example of people that's puppet masters trying to control the narrative.
In an interview before last night's unusual caucus, Henyard cried foul, saying her supporters were stuck outside, while backers of the committeeman, Napoleon Harris, gathered inside. Harris is also a state senator who selected himself to run for township supervisor at the top of the Democratic ticket.
The process was followed and it came out the way it was supposed to.
It should have been a primary. It always has been in the history of Thornton Township. Always 10,000 residents come and vote for township government.
Why do you think it changed?
Because they can't beat me. If they could beat me, they would have went to the polls. But now when I bring the people out, you don't let them in? Make that make sense.
To me, there are perception issues with it that are right to get attention. Will the court look at those perception issues? Probably not, but the voters certainly should.
Bill Cadigan is a former state board of elections chairman who says the caucus system is legal in Illinois, as is holding multiple elected positions.
No, it does not look like good government, and it looks like more of the same in Thornton Township.
The two South Suburban governments Henyard runs have been in chaos since soon after WGN Investigates began reporting on her spending and abrasive leadership style. She and her entourage racked up more than $100,000 in travel, meals, and more. Her namesake cancer charity was shut down for failing to report how it spends money. Even after the FBI served subpoenas in April, the spending continued. One sparsely attended event cost taxpayers more than $85,000. Before last night's defeat, Henyard vowed not to be deterred.
The show will go on.
Her team says they're asking the state's attorney and Illinois Attorney General to investigate the legality of last night's raucous caucus. Henyard can run as a write-in candidate for township supervisor, but remember, she's also facing a big challenge to stay on as the mayor of Dalton.
So listen, I think that, her bag comes from being the supervisor. I think that's the role where she makes like over $125,000 a year. So I know that she wants that position. I know that that means a lot to her. I just honestly feel like this, and I'm not no Tiffany Henyard cheerleader or anything like that. I've heard everything that she's done, as far as like the misspending. And I think that honestly, this was her first term as a mayor. What if she did get some things wrong, some missteps? All right, the federal government, they wanted to see her information, in regards to the spending. She showed it, and they're still spending money. So it's like, maybe it's just a mismanagement. Maybe she needs additional help or whatever, right? But I do feel like people use her as a punching bag. They do content, and you can't tell nobody what to do, because I'm gonna do the content that I want to do too. But at the end of the day, I feel like if she's not being indicted like Eric Adams, and people are just doing all of this chatter, it's like, if she's not being found guilty of anything, yes, she may have overspent, and who knows like where the money is or what, you know, truly happened. But my thing is, if they haven't indicted her or anything like that, I just hope at the end of all of this that they find something with her, so that at least you could be like, the nail in the coffin on some Diddy stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like when we seen the tapes of him, you know, doing what he did to Cassie, it's like, okay, we had the proof. To me personally, I'm 41 years old. When I seen everything roll out with Diddy now, these are the things we've been talking about since 1997. People have been calling him, you know, certain names, calling him a devil, saying multiple things about him. And it takes time sometimes for it to come out. But I just hope with all of the things that they've accused her of, yes, she could have overspent and it's on the books. You know what I'm saying? Maybe she mismanaged the budget. You know, if she would have ran the second time, maybe she would have got it right. Nobody is perfect. And I understand that when you are a public servant, you are under that type of you're under the radar, you're under the magnifying glass, and it's like, you know, you have to be on your P's and Q's. I think she should have came out and should have maybe admitted to it and said, hey, you know, I did have a foundation, I didn't unfortunately have it set up right, but I'm still learning, I'm trying to do, you know, whatever. I just felt like she could have probably benefited from having a PR team or a firm who could have got her to have some sort of, you know, admittance to, or admittal to the things that did take place, or, you know, try to bring some sort of reassurance that we're going to get these things together. But nonetheless, and lesser than none, I'm about to get up out of here. Potent, pondering, never pandering. I want to know what you think about the situation with Brian Thompson. My heart goes out to him, his family. That's so unfortunate. Imagine getting ready to go to a conference and you like in a whole nother city, and who knows like who set this man up. It's just unfortunate. So I hope and pray that they, you know, bring someone to justice for that, and they face the charges and all of that. You know what I mean? It's New York City. They got cameras everywhere. I don't understand why this person has not been found yet. It's cameras literally everywhere in New York City. So hopefully something turns up with that. Also, get in the comments, let me know what you think about Tiffany Henyard. Listen, let me just tell you this. I might not like her as far as like, you know, if she's done some of those negative things in her community as far as the misspending, the spending money on trips and stuff. If she did that, okay, you might not be a perfect fit, but I don't hate her, and I don't think that she's, you know, she's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe she just misstepped and mishandled some things. Like, it happens. You misstep in your job sometimes too. Don't look at me in this camera and tell me that you perfect. And no matter if you're working in customer service or you're a manager or whatever, I know that you've been ridiculed before. I know that you've received, you know, feedback. I know that you've been told about missed opportunities and certain things that you need to do to improve. But unfortunately, when she's under that type of scope, it's really like you mess up, it's a big thing. It's kaboom. So I just feel like they don't give her enough space to say that she, you know, has some wrongs and say that she's going to try to get it right. But yeah, potent, pondering, never pandering. I'm up out of here. Peace.